Avi Amini for Rebel News outside the Adas Israel synagogue, which was firebombed overnight, taking about 60 firefighters 45 minutes to take control of the blaze. We're here today to speak to the locals and find out what's going on, and to hold the politicians who are coming here to take photo ops accountable for their inaction over the last year. When this is the second time in a week, the third time in a week, a synagogue in Australia has been attacked. There was Caulfield over the weekend, there was Sydney a few days ago, and now it's a firebombing. Most Jews here could tell you they saw it coming a mile away, and they've begged the government, both state and federal, to help them, and the help hasn't come. Do you feel like the government's doing enough for the Jewish community?
Not yet, no.
Are you hoping this will change it?
I hope it'll change the attitude of the general population here, that there's something wrong in this country at the moment, and it's got to stop.
What is it that you think is wrong?
This anti-Semitism.
I think people say, we need new laws, we need new laws. We have laws, and they're not being enforced. One
thing's crystal clear. Jews are no longer safe in Melbourne, Australia in 2024. So I've started a petition, protectthejews.com.au. Put your name down, be counted. If you stand with the Jewish community going into the new year, sign and share the petition, protectthejews.com.au.
How did we get to this point where we have to rally just to oppose Jew hatred? This country's got a proud history of standing up for its values. During Europe's darkest days, Britain stood alone against fascism, refusing to bow to tyranny. It's a history that I, and I'm sure you as well, are deeply proud of. But it's also a complex history. We industrialised slavery, building an economy on the backs of human suffering. Yet this same nation later deployed its navy to enforce abolition, recognising its wrongs and taking action to right them. That history teaches us something critical. When we get things wrong, we have to confront those mistakes and work to repair the damage. Not with words, but with action, as we're seeing today. I spent the best years of my career fighting extremism in Afghanistan, seeing firsthand the consequences of hate when left unchecked. Those experiences taught me the price of inaction and the cost of looking away. So when I turned on my television on 7th of October and I saw extremists celebrating the attacks in Israel on British streets, I was horrified. And since then, we've seen weekly marches in London, keeping extremism in the public eye. This is not just a fleeting moment or an isolated problem. It's a movement of hatred that threatens the very fabric of our society. The pocket of society that organises these marches doesn't stop in the streets. It infects our NHS with extremism and monopolises discourse on our university campuses. These people have absolute disdain for our country and its values. As British servicemen and women came under fire from the Houthis on the coast of Yemen, these mobs were on our streets singing, "Yemen, Yemen, make us proud." Even Armistice Day, sacred to so many of us, is not safe from their desecration. They climb on war memorials, dishonouring those who gave their lives for our freedom. They project from the river to the sea onto Big Ben, mocking the democracy those servicemen and women fought to protect. When I was serving, we didn't risk our lives and expect to return home and witness mobs launching fireworks at police officers, or hear indoctrinated youths call for a Poppies for Palestine initiative on Remembrance Sunday. Shame. The resurgence of anti-Semitism that we're witnessing is not just about these weekly hate marches. It's a sign of something far more dangerous, a tolerance for intolerance. The echoes of an ancient hatred are being weaponised anew. Successive governments have failed to respond decisively, and that is a betrayal of our nation's values. As a soldier, I know this to be true. The greatest danger comes when you fail to act early and you fail to act decisively. We've seen this before in history. Hate doesn't go away on its own. It grows, it festers, and it corrodes everything it touches. And let's be clear, very clear indeed, anti-Semitism is not just a problem for the Jewish community. It's not their problem to solve it alone. It's a stain on all of us. It's a threat to the freedoms and the decency that we hold dear. Britain's tolerance must never mean appeasing the intolerant. This march is our way of saying enough. Enough of the weekly chants that go unchallenged. Enough of the casual prejudices that pass unspoken. Enough of the cowardice of those who see hate and pretend that it's somebody else's fight. Every one of us standing here has a responsibility. We must demand stronger action against hate crimes, hold institutions accountable, and push for education that ensures that the next generation understands the horrors of history and the lessons we must never forget. This country has a choice to make. We're at a moment. We have to make a decision. We've shown that we can correct our course, whether that's through abolishing slavery or through standing alone against fascism. But those moments required courage and action. Today we stand here to remind our nation of its better self, to show that we'll not allow extremism to gain ground, not in our streets, not in our schools, and not in our democracy. So let this march today be a symbol of our determination. Let it be a message that echoes across the country. Hate will not win. Solidarity will triumph, but Britain must act, and it must act now.